Did you guys know over 210 million people worldwide suffer from social media addiction? In the US alone, experts estimate that about 10% of social media users are addicted.
Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Milana. And in today's video, I wanted to share with you guys how to consciously use social media. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Number 1, be intentional. What do you mainly use social media for? Whether it's for inspiration, education, or business purposes, social media can either be looked at in a positive or negative way. But ultimately, that's going to be up to you. Most people, I feel like, look at social media in a negative way just because they're comparing their lives to others on social media, which entirely is not always true what you see. So I definitely think that we also forget about the positive side about social media, just like small businesses getting the exposure that they need, or maybe finding some content that is worth thousands of dollars or courses, but you're finding it for free on YouTube or TikTok, or maybe even coming across job opportunities that you've never even seen before on social media. I think a lot of us forget that it can either be negative or positive depending on the way that you look at it. I also wanted to share a quote with you guys by, I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name, Radhiki. We are living in a world of social media and people craving appreciation, which is playing with your dopamine on a high scale. Being addicted to it is easy, but analyze how it's just playing with your brain power, sleeping pattern, and a lot more. Observing and limiting the use will create an impact on your life. So it's important to be intentional with the purpose of social media. What are you using it for? Set that boundary and set your true intention. Don't compare yourself to others. When we are constantly comparing other people's lives to our own, we are basically just wasting our own precious energy on others rather than it should be focused on ourselves. I remember there was a trend not too long ago on TikTok. It was basically Instagram versus reality. So you would pull up your Instagram and you would pick a picture and basically tell the backstory of, this picture, I really looked like the happiest person in the world, but little do you all know, I was going through so much during this time and I was so sad or depressed. I think that this is a really good example of not everything that we see on social media is entirely true.
Instagram versus reality.
People are only going to share the moments in their lives that they want to share, whether that's good or bad. And I know that most of us are only going to share the good parts because, you know, you want to be private about the downfalls or things that you're going through in life. So it's important to remember that everyone is fighting their own battles every single day. Don't compare yourself to others. Just remember, you are only in competition with yourself. Find balance. If you were to look up how often do we spend on social media every single day, the answer to that would be 2.5 hours daily. If you have an iPhone, you're actually able to see how often do you go on each app every single day, and then throughout the end of the week, you're also able to see how much time did you actually spend on it. So I think it's really important for all of us to set a social media limit on all of our apps. Now, if you're going to use social media for business purposes, then your story is going to be different. What I'm talking about is just scrolling on social media for fun. So for me personally, I used to have a 2-hour time limit on all of my social media, but then I got it down to 30 minutes a day. And now that might sound a little bit small, but honestly, that is a big accomplishment for myself just because I really was so addicted to scrolling on social media to a point where I was not getting anything done that needed to get done. So all of those hours that you are spending on social media just scrolling and scrolling, you can instead use that time on doing something that's much more valuable. Whether that be taking care of yourself and doing some exercise, or maybe reading an educational book, or maybe even going out and hanging out with your family that you've seen in a long time. Whatever the case may be, I bet you whatever you choose to do rather than scrolling on social media will be much more valuable. So I think it's a great idea to write a list of what needs to get done for the day and then reward yourself by scrolling on social media. So set a boundary for yourself to have a little time limit on when you should be scrolling on social media every single day. Create more than you consume. It's really common nowadays for people trying to become a UGC creator, an influencer, a social media manager, or a full-time content creator, and the list can go on and on. And that's because social media has opened up the doors for so many new job opportunities. In today's society, I feel like it's really common if we see someone doing a TikTok in public, we're just gonna walk past them and not even like look at them or have a reaction. And that's because social media is now common more than ever. Versus 4 years ago, if we were to walk someone past doing a TikTok, TikTok, we might look at them and think they're crazy or ooh, that's kind of cringy. So social media is more common, so if you are right now, just like myself, filming content or creating content, I think it's important to set a boundary. Especially if you're looking at other content creators within your same niche, I think it's great to get some inspiration, but it's to a point where you have to draw a line. For example, if you're finding new video ideas and you go to another creator's page and you're like, oh, this video actually looks really great, I feel like I can do something like that, but don't click on their video. And I say that because once you click on that video, you're gonna then compare yourself to their content and kind of feel like, oh, I need to live up to this expectation, or oh, I don't think I'll be able to create this content just like this person did. And I also want to give you guys an example of my own as well. Sometimes when I am scripting videos, I get writer's block, and I feel like I found this out just because most of the time when I get writer's block, it's because I'm not inspired, and that's because I've been mindlessly scrolling right before I'm creating my own content. So this is a friendly reminder to create more than you consume and set a boundary for yourself. What is social media addiction and how can we fix it? So everything that I have said before is my personal opinion, and I wanted to share with you guys some things that I found on the internet. So let's start off with the definition. Social media addiction is a behavioral addiction that is defined by being overly concerned about social media, driven by an uncontrollable urge to log on to or use social media, and devoting so much time and effort to social media that it impairs other important life areas. Checking and scrolling through social media has become an increasingly popular activity over the last decade. How can we overcome this? The internet says delete apps or disable notifications from social media. Most people check in on social media mindlessly, so put a small barrier in the way by turning off notifications. If you don't see a social media icon or alert every time you pick up your phone, you're less likely to spend time on there. Set limits and stick to them. Thank you all so much for watching my video today. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It always helps me and my channel out, as well as hitting that subscribe button down below and hit that bell notification so you can go ahead and get notified every single time I post on Sundays. Until next time, I will see you all in my next video. Be intentional. What do you We are just wasting I don't have a lisp. Don't compare yourselves to others. When we constantly compare ourselves to others.